friends, so I have tried over the last like 3 or more months, maybe 5, to do this specific video, and every time I've tried, I just didn't feel like I got the words out right. So here it goes again. I had gotten this picture a few months ago at church as I was just again worshiping in spirit and in truth, and it was a picture of land that was once beautiful and thriving and alive and luscious and green. And just think of the most beautiful paradise, and that is what this land looked like. But then I saw all these people come, and it's kind of like in the gold mining days, and how they would come with their axes and their picks and all this stuff, and they would just go at this land, trying to get out the good that they just knew was buried there. All for, of course, their benefit, not the benefit of the land. The land was feeling broken beyond recognition, right? And then I saw that when that didn't work and they didn't get the gold that they wanted, they're like, well, maybe, there's life-giving water. So they decide to come with this big drill and drill down for water to dig a well. And as it went down and down and down, that land felt so decimated, beyond broken, beyond recognition, that there's no true words to put what this land felt like. But then the most glorious thing happened. Out of all these things that were supposed to be used as a detriment in a way to this land, that yes, though they were trying to get to those things buried there, right, it still felt like a detriment to that land. It still felt like not to the best interest of that land, right? But out of that hard, horrible digging down, something beautiful erupted. And it wasn't just the water that was expected. They had hit pure oil. And as it came gushing out, shooting out, it was everywhere. There was no containing it. Everyone was drenched in it. And of course, they were all rejoicing because surely they had won. But the joke is on them because the land never belonged to them. They had never got the deed to the land. The land always and forever belonged to God, the true owner, right? So yes, this land is an example of us and how we have felt broken beyond what we thought we could endure. We felt like all these enemies have come in. Sometimes even people that we trusted and that we thought meant good ended up harming us. And the enemy, the enemy of our soul meant each and every single time as a demolishment. He had hoped that, against hope that it would win, that we would be utterly demolished. And sometimes, he comes in a guise of like, oh, I'm helping you, I'm trying to find the good in you, and all these people's voices and the things that he uses. But he still means it as a detriment in the end, and to use everything against you, to take everything and sap your strength. But, my beautiful friend, the breaking didn't break you. It made you. And I know it was hard, beyond anything you can ever fully put into words, when you went through that time of breaking and demolition, it felt like, and demolishment. And you just kind of wondered and cried out like, God, why did you let it happen? Where were you? Why didn't you stop it? Friend, God wanted me to tell you he was right there with you, wiping your tears as they fell. It was not that he willed it or he wanted it. The enemy meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. So some things, it's hard when we feel like God does let them happen. And we think it did break us, so we see him almost in this light of a villain. Like, how could you do that to us, God? How could you let them do that? But when we see the oil that comes from everything that we have gone through, and it gushes out, and it is beyond anything that we could ever imagine, and it not only blesses us, but it's a generational thing, and it's going to bless our children and our children's children and everyone that we come in contact with. And our story is going to be one of those things that people marvel at. Then we're going to know that not for 1 minute was God sitting idly by, unaware, uncaring of our plight, and that He did every single moment He was there, and He meant it for our good, because He alone knew that the breaking would not break us, that it would instead make us. So friend, I know it's been beyond hard, but one day we're going to look back and we're going to see that even in the hard, God was still using it for our good, for His glory, and to help others that feel just as broken as us. Because I think of gold and I think of oil, how it is not just meant for that one person to be hoarded away, right? It's to be sold, to be used, to be made into all these different things. So the same is true for this oil that is just coming out from your heart, from those broken places. It is going to be used in such a glorious way, not only for you, but for God's glory and to help others too. I love you, friends. You're not for a moment walking this alone. Sending love and prayers your way.